Okay, we are back. Sorry to cut you off earlier, Mark. So you were talking about contaminants or something in water.
What I really wanted to talk about was pesticides and fertilizers. I brought in a video today to show you. We have our two environmental fanatics with us, Hydroman and Aquaman. And why don't we play the video? Let's take a look.
Okay, let's go take a look at that.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission, to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Hi, I'm Aquaman.
And I'm Hydroman. We are currently located at your local farmland, where pesticides are generally used.
What is a pesticide? A pesticide is a chemical that is used to control a pest. A pest can be an insect, weed, bacteria, fungus, rodent, fish, or any other troublesome organism.
Pesticides control one or more specific pests around homes, in agricultural areas, and on public land.
Where does your drinking water come from? Drinking water comes from two main sources, surface water and groundwater. In urban areas, water from these sources is frequently pumped to water treatment plants, then to buildings.
Drinking water in rural or agricultural areas often comes from individual wells drilled into aquifers. The water from these wells is usually not treated.
How can pesticides get into our drinking water? Pesticides can seep into and through the soil during recharge of groundwater and get into aquifers. Pesticides are sometimes applied directly to lakes or wetlands for control of aquatic weeds, insects, or fish. However, these products are labeled to avoid use near drinking water.
How do I know if pesticides are in my drinking water? Officials regularly test the public water supplies for certain pesticides. Information on these tests is available from your local water company.
If you get water from a well, you can contact your county health department or state environmental department to inquire if pesticides have been found near your area. The only way to know if a pesticide is present in your drinking water is to have your water tested. Unfortunately, testing can be costly.
Can pesticides in drinking water cause health effects? Pesticides found in drinking water may be harmful to your health. The toxicity of pesticides and the amount detected determine if any health effects are likely.
Individual pesticides have different effects on humans. Variation exists in the toxicity of pesticides and the sensitivity of people to chemicals. In large amounts, some pesticides can cause long-term health effects, such as cancer or organ damage in laboratory animals. Some pesticides at high doses can cause reproductive effects in laboratory animals.
For many pesticides, scientists have determined levels that are not likely to pose health risks. When pesticides in drinking water are above acceptable levels, you should take measures to avoid drinking it.
Maximum contaminant level, otherwise known as MCL. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has set a specific maximum levels of certain contaminants that are allowed in drinking water. These levels are based on scientific data from long-term animal studies and have an additional safety factor built in it. By drinking water that contains pesticides at or less than the MCL, humans are not expected to be at a higher risk for health problems. The EPA has also established health advisory levels, HAs, for many pesticides. HAs are non-enforceable guideline levels for contaminants that are in place until it is determined that there is a need to establish an MCL. What to do if pesticides are found in my drinking water? If a pesticide is found in your drinking water above acceptable levels, you should report this to your State Department of Agriculture. If you are having health effects you suspect are linked to pesticide exposure, consult a physician or contact the National Pesticide Telecommunications Network.
Drinking water contaminated with pesticides can be treated by a local water treatment facility to remove most of the pesticides. Activated carbon or reverse osmosis filters can be effective at removing pesticides from water. Consult your EPA regional office for the most effective treatment method for the pesticides of concern. Using bottled water can be an alternative if your water is contaminated until you can take measures to correct the problem. Bottled water is not always regulated for pesticides. What is being done about pesticides in drinking water? Several government agencies, including the U.S. EPA Office of Water, U.S. Geological Survey, and state environmental departments and local city and county agencies monitor drinking water. Pesticide levels detected in water samples are compared to acceptable levels. If pesticides are found at higher than the acceptable levels, then agencies take action to correct the problem or notify affected citizens.
The Safe Drinking Water Act is in place to reduce exposure to contaminants, including pesticides in drinking water. Scientists are conducting research to better understand the long-term effects of certain pesticides in drinking water.